Hey guys, welcome to Wholistic Hearts. I am Kristen Chadwick, your host. I am posting something a little different today. I thought I would do a little sneak peek, a preview into Wholistic Hearts community. Some of you have emailed me and texted me asking me questions, a little bit confused, so I wanted to make sure that there's clarity. So Wholistic Hearts podcast will continue to go. There will only be encounters and pauses mainly on the Wholistic Hearts podcast itself. Those will still be free. Those are what I felt like the Lord wanted me to put out there as free content to whoever, for you to share, for you to experience encountering Him. And everything else, as far as teaching, coaching, biblical revelation, encouragement in that capacity, community, the book club that we were doing, that we started back in the fall, all of those things will be inside of Wholistic Hearts community. And that is $29 a month for to be a member. And it is well worth the value. Some of the things that you'll get in there as well is training. And so that's what I wanted to bring to you today, to get to see a sneak peek of what you get inside of Wholistic Hearts community. As a member, you get coaching material just like that is presented today. And today I did a training on how to set up your brand new journal for 2022, and as well as talking about the benefits of journaling. So I thought that I would give you a little preview of what happens inside of Wholistic Hearts community and why it is worth your $29 a month to become part of this community. If you want to grow spiritually, if you are tired of your quiet times being kind of humdrum, if you feel disconnected, if you feel like you just barely made it to the end of the day and you collapse into your bed and you feel like, what am I doing? This is where you can get training for and coaching for your kingdom identity. You can get coaching on how to show up in your life with intentionality. This is where you can get coaching on how do you rest in the midst of a life that is very full. All of these conversations happen inside of Wholistic Hearts community in this membership. So there's a link below that you can click on if you want to try it out for a week, and you can hear some of the coaching that has already started. We are brand new, so this is so exciting. And you guys, it's one of my favorite things to wake up in the morning and open up my email and see you have a brand new member. It's one of the greatest, I don't know. I'm like, yay, another person to just be a part of this community. It is like-minded people who want to follow after Jesus in a holistic way. So if you want more in-depth mindset, body stuff, physical stuff, spiritual stuff, emotional healing, all of those things, then come join us inside of Wholistic Hearts community. That's where all of that will be happening in 2022. And otherwise, we will continue to keep putting out there into the world encounters and pauses for you to enjoy for free. And that will all be on our podcast. But if you would like more coaching, more one-on-one with me and with others in like-minded community, then that's where Wholistic Hearts membership community is. I hope you enjoy today's special sneak peek preview into the Wholistic Hearts community and what kind of training you will get inside of there. All right, here we go. Hey guys, it's me, Kristen. I'm here just wanting to, y'all, I have something in my teeth. That is real life. Anyway, I am here to just encourage you this morning. It is Monday. It is Martin Luther King Day. Deep respect and deep honor for that man who stood up and said, this is not right, and continually forgave and forgave and forgave. And yeah, so we honor him today. And but today I really wanted to come on and share with you all who are in the Wholistic Hearts membership group. I just want to say thank you for those that are signing up. It's been so fun to see new people jump into my inbox and say, hey, you have a new member. So share with your friend, continue to share with a friend, continue to listen to Wholistic Hearts. I just have deep respect and deep gratitude for every single person that signs up as a member and helps support me in what I do in my podcast. And that's what keeps Wholistic Hearts podcast rolling. So yeah, so I thought today I would do a little teaser on the podcast. This is what it's like inside of Holistic Hearts community. As you may have figured out on Holistic Hearts podcast, we are just doing encounters and pauses on the podcast itself. Those are continuing to be free. I really felt like the Lord was calling me to continue to do that specifically and to offer that, and then to open up a membership community where people can get coaching. You can get things like this training where we're talking about the benefits of journaling and how to set it up, and also a book club. So you can be a part of community online. I'm actually kind of doing two parts of this. So I have a sweet group that comes here on Tuesday mornings at my house. And so we have a real life community. And then we also have this as the Holistic Hearts community as a paid membership to help support what I do around here. So you will definitely get your $29 worth. It is beyond more valuable than that. So I just want to say thanks for taking the plunge. Thanks for doing the whole app, Mighty Networks app, to get into here. And hey, if you guys are on the fence and you aren't sure whether this is the right group for you, come and try it. You get a week trial for free. So I just invite you, as this will be aired on my podcast as a special look inside of Holistic Hearts community, and just come and check it out. The link will be below in the notes. And let's get on to what I wanted to talk about today. So today we are talking about how to set up your journal. And I know many of you got brand new journals over Christmas. They're one of the greatest gifts, I think, that you can receive and give. It's just a beautiful opportunity for you to become more intentional about becoming self-aware, writing down your thoughts, creating space for you to get your intentions together. And so before I talk about how to set up a journal, I thought it would be good to have a reminder of the benefits of journaling. So throughout my life, I have journaled since I can before I can remember. I mean, I think I was in middle school when I started really journaling. And I don't know if I ever called it a diary, but it was definitely processing what happened through the day. And then that was when I started to learn how to do a quiet time, quote unquote. And so I had two different journals. I had a prayer journal and I had like my everyday life journal. And that continued well until about a couple of years ago. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to combine everything. And then just in this last year, through the help of my coach, Chelsea, which you see her on some of the lives here, she really hones in on, we do not need more than one journal. We can keep everything in there. And that's basically where I had started to put like all of my work stuff, all of my coaching stuff, my Bible stuff, my identity, my I am declarations, all of those things into one journal. So if you can see me, which you can't if you're on the podcast, this is a journal that I started to, if you can, I'll describe it. It's well loved. There's lots of paper stuffed everywhere inside. There's things glued into it. The binding is very loose. This is when I started to implement kind of everything all into one. And I will say, I will not go back. And then even in 2022, as I was trying to figure out how I wanted to approach 2022 as far as a planner, I kind of had an aha moment of, I'm going to put it all into one. And so that's what I did. And that's what I felt like I wanted to share with you because, hey, you might need an idea for how to set up your journal well. So, one of the things that benefits us in journaling is physically. There are so many benefits to journaling. It actually improves our immune system. The University of Texas at Austin psychologist and researcher James Pennebaker contends that regular journaling strengthens immune cells called T lymphocytes. Other research indicates that journaling decreases the symptoms of asthma and rheumatoid arthritis. And Pennebaker believes that writing about stressful events helps you come to terms with them, acting as a stress management tool. What more could we use right now in history than journaling, processing through what the heck is happening right now in the world, right? So that is amazing that physically it helps build your immunity. So another part of journaling is that gratitude piece, right? So if we can keep track of gratitude, it actually improves our physical health as well. So grateful people experience fewer aches and pains than people who are not keeping track of what they are grateful for. I mean, physically, this is going to help your body. Number 2, it helps you emotionally and psychologically. There have been studies that have shown that the emotional release from journaling lowers anxiety, stress, and induces better sleep. It helps you by slowing down your thoughts. There's it's kind of like a form of meditation and mindfulness. Actually, it's so cool. My daughter, she was in a class, an economics class, and she did a presentation on the effects of journaling. And she said, Mom, I realized I love journaling because it helps me to really think about my thoughts. And this totally reminded me of the research that I've done about it, because it's exactly what it does. It's a form of mindfulness and it's a form of meditation. And I know for me personally, the fact that my brain goes 8 million miles an hour at any given moment from the moment I wake up, to where if I pause in those mornings and I do my 30 minutes of journal time, then I can slow down my thoughts. And there's a deep breath in there. There's restfulness. It also helps release emotion. It helps you recognize deep thought patterns and themes. If you go back and look at your journals, you can see, oh man, God was really doing this in my life at this time. It's supporting that self-awareness. It's helping you see limiting beliefs and those mindsets over time that you've had. It helps you process trauma. It helps you get out of your head space and down into your heart space. It helps decrease stress. The 30 minutes that I was talking about, that's from Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way, called The Morning Pages. And I love this concept. It really helps you access the right side of your brain. After you have written out all your left side of your brain, I can tend to be a little stuck in my head. And so by the time 30 minutes is done, I have begun to dig into my heart, into that deeper places of really what's going on. So I really encourage you to try some of these. Sit down for 30 minutes, put on a timer, and just go. Brain dump. Don't judge. Don't reevaluate. Don't erase. Don't scratch through. Just let it be what it's coming out. Another type of journaling is asking, what does little you need in this moment? This is another way. Excuse me, my nose is still stuffy from COVID. But this is another way that we can really process what we need in this moment. If you have a hard time recognizing emotionally what's going on inside of you, one of the quickest ways to access that is to picture you as a little girl or little boy and dig in. If you're a man listening to this, picture you being a little boy. That's what I was saying. So if you picture yourself at a certain age where you can ask, what do you need? What do you need in this moment? That is a beautiful way to connect to your heart. All right, number three reason of why you should journal is spiritual healing. Writing is a privilege, not a spiritual discipline. That was by James Gall. This spiritual privilege of writing can be used in so many ways. I'll give you a few ideas for you as we practice the art of using writing to heal our hearts and reconnect us back to God and His heart. So there's beauty in laying out what our heart's emotions are in the moment. I have been loving this new form of journaling that captures like multiple levels of your heart, spiritually, emotionally, and almost physically. So, God, I offer what I have. I ask for what I desire, and I trust you to give me what I need. Those are the three quick ways that we can access spiritually the deeper places of our heart. Writing your thoughts about what you are hearing from the Lord or what you're reading in the Word and praying about can be so powerful to look back on. One of the beautiful things that I've seen in my own journaling is to see how God was working before I even knew it. Like I couldn't wrap my brain around it quite yet, but then if I look back like a year afterwards and look over it and read it, it's phenomenal. I mean, it just speaks God is faithful. So writing out those prayers, writing out a response from Him. If you guys want some ideas of how to do interactive journaling, or it's called two-way journaling as well, I have some topics inside of the Holistic Hearts community where you can discover questions to ask and how to respond and how to react to the questions that we ask and how do you hear from Jesus and all of those things. There are tools inside of the community to help you do that. And it's so beautiful to look back and look at that interaction of moments where I've asked a question and then I've responded as I think that Jesus would respond. And then going back and seeing, oh my gosh, He was using my own heart to respond to myself. And to see things that are not yet to come. How cool is that? So speaking of that, we can write out our dreams and our visions that God has given us. And this builds such an increase of faith after you go back and read and see how God has come through. So those are all of the amazing ways that journaling is beneficial and why setting up a journal is important. And like I said at the beginning, I really want you to take your journal and make it your one-stop shop. I'm going to show you, this was my last journal. The very beginning, I leave about 2 or 3 pages blank from now on. I'm learning as I go, for a table of contents. So if you're live, you can see I have written down as I go a table of contents. Now, what the table of contents helps with is that later on, when I go back, I can open my journal and be like, oh, where did I write when I turned 40? What did I write down? And I can go back and look at, oh, that's page 56. And I can turn to that, and that's exactly where it's at. Part of that reflection and going back and reading through, this is so helpful to have table of contents. So with that, you want to make sure that you have a good size journal. It's just a, I think I got a Hobby Lobby or Michael's, just an Artist Loft blank sketchbook. And it is actually, I know exactly how many pages it is because I numbered it. It's about 200 pages long. And what I do, one of the very first things I do when I get this brand new journal, when you have your brand new journal, whatever size it is, it could be a smaller one. It could be, like I got this one from a friend. It's much smaller, but one of the first things that I would do when I use this one is I'm going to leave the first few pages blank and write table of contents. And then I'm going to go through and number every other page. So I just go 2, 4, 6, 8 and go all the way through the whole journal to make sure that every page is numbered. Oops, I just threw that on the floor. So I guarantee you, if you're intentional with just starting fresh and having organization from the beginning, it will be so helpful, and you'll appreciate that you did this when you're done. Okay, so what next? So then in your journal, what I've done is, I'll get my brand new one because I just started a new one. I also write the date on the inside cover. So I started this one January 1st, 2022. So I wrote 2022 and then dash, because I don't know when I'm going to end it. And then I have my table of contents. And one of the very first things I write, and this could be on page 3, 4, just a couple pages in, because remember what I said, to leave a couple pages blank for table of contents. I want you to write your kingdom identity. If you went through the Heavenly Commission, you should have a kingdom identity. We took time to walk through exactly what God thinks of you, your unique identity, how heaven sees you. And this is where you can write that. I have a very long identity. So each season of a new journal, I try to repurpose or go through and rewrite it for this season in particular. So I have my identity. And again, if you haven't done Heavenly Commission, I encourage you to come inside of the group. I'm going to be putting that as an offering for a course, and it will be way cheaper than it was, because I really think this is valuable information and opportunity to create relationship with your Heavenly Father and to see yourself as He sees you. So there's a little plug. Come to the Wholistic Hearts community. It is worth the $29 a month. All right, so you write your kingdom identity. Then you write your mission, which we also have talked about in the Heavenly Commission. If you don't know how to do that, let's chat. We can either do life coaching. This is what I've been trained in, is how to find your mission in life, your calling. And then what I do is my word of the year. So I also am going to be doing a training on Friday, this upcoming Friday, on your word of the year. What do we do once we have our word of the year? If you have listened and you have heard a word or a phrase, what do we do? So one of the things is we can write it in our journal. My word this year is tethered and genuine connection. So I've started to begin to write little things that people have spoken to me about that in particular, or something that perked my ears when I heard it and was like, "Ooh, that has to do with being tethered or genuine connection." So I have my word of my year in my journal. And then I write out declarations that I feel like the Lord is wanting me to stand in this season. So it could be, I am strong. I am God's peacock. I am blank, blank, blank. For me, some of the things that I've written down so far for this season, and I usually leave a little bit of space for each one of these in case the Lord adds something or expounds on something, or I discover more things and I want to write it down. So I have quite a little bit of space after declarations to, this could be a whole page. So some of the ones that I already have right now is, I do already have influence. I do offer value, and I can help someone today. So those are some of the things that I've already written down in my declarations, and make sure you leave a little space so that you can continue to add to that. And the reason why I put this at the beginning of our journal is that every day that you can see it, you can open it up, you can review it, you can speak it out loud, you can meditate on it. It's all available for you as you get in there. I just thought that it's such a great way to have everything at your fingertips. Um, okay, so the next thing that I do is I write out God-sized dreams for 2022. So some of these questions I have gotten from Horatio Printing, the Dream Planner. I'm totally drawing a blank from her podcast, but she had a beautiful 2022 vision podcast where it was very interactive and she asked questions and then you could pause it and write down some of the answers to the questions. So for me, this is what I wanted to set up in my journal and how I wanted to do this exercise. And so what I did was I wrote God-sized dreams for 2022. And then I wrote out each of the questions she asked and responded. So that's on my next page. If you want more of those questions, then be sure to come into the Wholistic Hearts community and I can give you those questions. Okay, the next page is called the Life Wheel Assessment. And these are all ideas. Whatever it is that you are passionate about, then this is how you can set up your journal. I'm just giving you my example because I know for me, I love to hear somebody else's ideas and how they align themselves in that holistic alignment. And this is one way. So one of the tools I use as a life coach is called the Life Wheel Assessment. And basically what it is a giant circle. So this takes up my whole page. And it is broken down into different categories of my life. So finances, spirituality, fitness, relationships, all of those things. And that's on the next page. And I coach myself through that and just look at where is the Holy Spirit highlighting in my life? What can I work on? As long as it's done out of love and not out of fear. So then the next page, I have broken down into smaller goals. So I love the 12-week year method on planning. So I do 3-month increments. So I've written down 12-week goals, January 1, 2, 3, 4, February 1, 2, 3, 4, and March 1, 2, 3, 4. Every week there is a goal that I want to hit based out of looking at the life wheel assessment. What area was the area that the Lord really wants me to work on? So say for instance, it's fitness. So for the first 4 weeks of January, since I was sick the first 2, my last 3rd week and 4th week, I want to make sure that I get on my bike, the cycling bike, at least 3-4 times a week. So that would be written out in those little spots. Then next, because I said this is a one-stop shop, I took a look at, okay, what are my plans for Wholistic Hearts podcast in these next 3 months? And so I start writing out each show. I write down each encounter, which ones I felt like the Lord was wanting me to do. And it's all right there. You can be as fancy as writing, getting out a ruler and writing out lines and just filling out each week. And this is if you have a podcast. So I did that for my podcast. You could do this for your business. You could do this for if you're a mom and you stay at home. What are some of the things that you want to plan for in the next 3 months? And you have it all right here inside of your journal. Then next, which is inside of the Wholistic Hearts community, I wrote down questions for Jesus for 2022. This is all inside of Wholistic Hearts. But some of these questions I wrote down and I left space so that I could answer them as I had time. Jesus, what aspect of yourself do you want me to experience more fully this year? Jesus, what adventure do you want to go on with me this year? What part of my heart do you want to most profoundly impact this year? And so there's basic questions that he wanted me to really dive into and come back to. These questions aren't set in stone. It's just a way to connect with Jesus as you are planning for 2022. All right, so that is the basics of how I originally set up my journal. As you can see, it's connects me spiritually, it connects me physically and emotionally. And each day, or each week, I'm sorry, like I said, because this is now my planner as well, I write out my want tos and my to dos for the week, and I leave that kind of open to add to. And then I do my journaling, leave space for journaling, and then even going as far as, writing out meal plans, writing out each day of the week and the calendar of events that are going to happen. Yeah. So I really encourage you to be intentional for setting up your journal for all of your things, because it holds, this is like your world, right? So I hope this was helpful today. And if you have any specific questions, if you want to know more about any particular part of this podcast or of this training, let me know. I hope this was helpful to you. I wish somebody would have told me how to do this a few years ago, but it has been such a sweet way to have everything together for me, and not have 4 or 5 different books that I'm like processing, journaling, planning, gratitude, prayers, all of those things. It's all in it together, because like I've said, I love the holistic approach. We are the sum of many parts, and so this is exactly how I felt like the Lord was leading me to organize all of the parts of me. So hope that was helpful. If you are interested in coming into the Holistic Hearts community, again, click the link below. I'd love to have you. This is what we do inside of the community. So, all right, have a great week.